Frozen planets and video games go together like peanut butter and jelly. From Lost Planet to Dead Space, there's been no shortage of icy worlds to explore and freeze your ass off on throughout gaming history. And if there's one constant across these frozen wastelands, it's that something is always still lurking out there, and it's usually a weird alien. Aphelion, from the talented folks over at Don't Nod, leads us into that familiar, desolate, ice-covered setting you've come to know and love. You play as Ariane, tasked with exploring this frozen world on a desperate mission to rescue her wounded comrade, Thomas. We were lucky enough to get our hands on an early preview build, and of course, I've got thoughts. You knew I would, but real quick, don't let us freeze and wither away in the cold. Support real people that make real things over at patreon.com/idreamofindiegames, where your new indie gaming community is waiting for you. Aphelion is a narrative-driven sci-fi adventure that, based on the 2 short chapters I previewed, delivers a strong atmosphere, striking visuals and sound, and a whole lot of climbing. In the roughly hour-long slice I played, I grappled up mountainsides, clung to ledges, and leapt between them like Nathan Drake. I scanned the environment for clues, navigated treacherous terrain, and eventually encountered a lone alien creature I had to stealth around. I never got the sense that this was aiming to be an intense, non-stop, action-heavy experience. Instead, it feels like a slow-burn narrative journey backed by the occasional thrilling moment. The preview build opened with a surprisingly exciting sequence, sending Ariane plummeting down a collapsing slope while dodging falling debris. Cinematic in nature, I guided her through the chaos, only crashing once, and the game helpfully and hilariously reminded me exactly what killed me, as if I didn't already know. Outside of these occasional interactive set pieces though, most of Aphelion's gameplay boiled down to walking, jumping, and climbing, with very little room for exploration. The experience followed a fairly linear path, but it did a solid job introducing the handful of mechanics it has. Ariane controls well enough so far, with players able to press a grip button between ledge jumps to secure a better hold. She doesn't seem to have any combat abilities, nor does she need them, since the only real threat appears at the very end of this preview when that massive alien creature finally shows up. Here, brute force isn't an option, but the stealth works well enough. Ariane can crouch down, solid snake style, to keep quiet and slip past danger. The planet of Persephone is genuinely breathtaking. Completely covered in ice, it had me stopping more than once just to take in all the sights and sounds. Yes, the world can feel empty at times, but that seems intentional. The kind of quiet, desolate emptiness that tells you something terrible has happened here. Performance was solid on my 4070 rig too. I did run into one crash and a handful of small bugs, but that's par for the course in a preview build and nothing that raised any real concern. So far, Aphelion seems to be in a pretty good place, and I'm looking forward to experiencing the full narrative when it launches later this year. While the sheer amount of wandering and ledge jumping felt a bit excessive at times, I was invested enough in the characters, the world, and the overarching mystery to want to see how it all comes together. There's also a chance that some of the game's mechanics, scanning locations using the Pathfinder tool, swinging across gaps, will evolve as the story progresses. And the one stealth section I did get to try was handled pretty well. Right now, this is definitely one to keep an eye on if you enjoy cinematic narrative adventures with a sci-fi twist. Hopefully we'll be able to bring you a full review of Aphelion right here at I Dream of Indie Games in the not-so-distant future. In the meantime, like, subscribe, and support Indie Visibility. We'll see you in the next video.